Peter from my Bonsai channel, and I'm pretty excited today because this is my 100th video on YouTube, which is a milestone for me. And because of that fact, I wanted to do something a little bit different, a little bit special. It's going to come in two parts. The first part is some of the remarkable trees we have here in Australia. That will lead to the second part, which is a short story before I show you the final tree. Now, from this day on, I also want to make sure that all my videos are deaf and hearing impaired friendly, so there will be a scrolling text at the bottom of my videos that has a transcript of whatever I'm saying. The first tree that you see now is the tallest tree in Australia, and it's found in Tasmania, and it is the Centurion, which is second only to the Californian redwood. It is, however, the tallest eucalyptus tree in Australia. The second remarkable Aussie tree is found in South Australia. It's the Herbig family tree. Now, this tree, back in the day, hosted the Herbig family for 5 years. And I've linked to the story below in the description, so if you're interested, you can click on that link and read all about the Herbig tree. The second to last tree is the amazing hollow bollard tree, which is found about 6k south of Derby in Western Australia. They call this the prison tree, even though there's no actual proof that I can find that he actually imprisoned anybody. Now, we come to my short story. This story took place a long time ago, before we had television and smartphones. Back in those bygone days, some lucky villagers had a bard who would tell them stories after a long day in the fields. On this particular evening, all the villagers were gathered around the fire, waiting for Avalon, their bard, to tell them their story. Avalon always waited for absolute quiet, and when the villagers finally quieted down, Avalon began his story, and this is how it went.
In the land of Wassop, many years ago, there lived a woman named Deceria. She was renowned for her beauty. Not only did Deceria know she was beautiful, she wanted everyone around her to appreciate just how gorgeous she was. Every morning and night she would go through the routine of brushing her luscious blonde hair, the required 500 strokes, all the while gazing lovingly at her reflection. Twice a day she would speak the following words to her mirror. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all? Luckily for her, the mirror wasn't at all magical. Otherwise, it would have used its magical ability to throttle her. Still, Deceria would play her little game, and in her mind, she would hear the mirror telling her what a real stunner she was, and how every woman in the world was extremely jealous of her beauty. One stormy night, as she was lovingly gazing at her reflection, she noticed what appeared to be some wrinkles. Heaven forbid that anything should mar her striking beauty. What to do, she moans to herself, as she paces her room, no longer looking at the mirror, in case she was to see more wrinkles. Then she remembers that a young warlock was reported to live on the other side of town, and she decided that she would pay him a visit first thing in the morning. The next day, hiding her newfound wrinkles in an expensive silk veil, she asks around to see if anyone knew where the warlock lived. An old hag directs her to the residence of one sire, Warlock Extraordinaire. Upon arrival, she knocks on the door, and to her surprise, a young hunk of a man opens it. The first thing that comes to her mind is, wow, this guy can fix more than my complexion. Sire, on the other hand, remembers her as the young girl who made fun of a pimply, skinny kid and a vow that he made to make her pay for her cruelty. He guides her to the couch and listens to her drivel, all the while wondering just how to make her pay for what she did. Then it hit him like a ton of bricks. Her vanity was the answer. and instead of making her skin luscious and smooth again, he decided to do the exact opposite. With a twinkle in his eye, he gives her a concoction that he promises will make her even more beautiful than before. After giving her explicit instructions, he sends her home. She was so happy that her feet seemed to skim above the ground as she almost ran home. So eager was she to have her beauty restored to its former glory. Upon reaching her home, she follows the instructions to the letter. She takes the concoction and mixes it with fresh milk and some of her feces. Did I mention that she was blonde? And after rubbing it in liberally all over her body, she promptly went to bed, managed to fall asleep, putrid smell and all. Early the next morning she woke up and excitedly went to have a shower, so she could wash the foul-smelling muck off. As the putrid mess started to wash off, to her shock and horror, rather than leaving her skin silky smooth, it was all hard and wrinkled. She screamed, wondering what could have possibly gone wrong. In a panic, she dresses and, covering herself in a veil once again, so she will not be recognised, she goes to Sai's abode to find out what could have gone wrong. She bangs on the door until suddenly it was flung open and she gazed at Sai's manic eyes. She screams at him, asking him what the heck was going on, all the while beating on his muscular chest. Sai just waits until she stops out of sheer exhaustion and then calmly recounts the time when they were kids and how she had always made fun of his pimply appearance in front of the whole village. He then goes on to tell her how the potion he had given her had only just started to work, and that in time she would look like a shriveled up old hag, unless what? She screams. Well, Desidia, there is only one way in which the spell from the potion can be reversed. You have to go to the centre of Wassop, in the village square at high noon. You must dig a hole in front of all those watching, and then you are to place your head into the hole and lift your legs into the air. Only then will you return to normal. With a scream, she rushes to the village square, and with her bare hands she digs a hole in the earth. Then, with all the villagers watching, she places her head into the ground and lifts her legs into the air. Did I mention that she was a blonde? To her surprise, her limbs went all stiff, and before she could do anything about it, the ground closed around her head, and where once there was a luscious, curvaceous blonde bombshell, now stood a tree bearing the form of a naked woman. Avalon pauses, the story at its end, and some village boys scream out, "Avalon! Avalon! Please tell us another story!" Would you like another story? If you would, leave a comment down below, and if I get enough comments, I will be producing more stories. Thanks guys for listening to me. Don't forget to subscribe and to click the little bell sign so that you will get notified when I do more videos. Have a great day guys. This is Peter from my Bonza channel signing off.